What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 15.
Millionaire Maker. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay guys, this is for the Millionaire Maker slate, which is the Sunday main slate at 1 p.m. Oh, and stick around to the very end of this video. After I show you all my picks in the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll show you these players in DraftKings and in FanDuel, the Millionaire Maker slates. There'll be 2 spots open that you have to fill in, but you'll have a great Millionaire Maker core. Okay guys, NFL Week 15. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So I want to save some salary at this position. My Millionaire Maker quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins, playing the New York Jets, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa has averaged 16.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 3 rush attempts per game. He's going to be about 9% owned, projected at 19.7 fantasy points here in Week 15, and he's only $5,700 DraftKings salary. He is $1,700 more on FanDuel, so I prefer that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 42.5 points scored in this game, with the Miami Dolphins favored by 8.5. So Tua Tagovailoa has a fantastic matchup, and he scored 18, 13, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games. I think he has 20 plus fantasy point upside in this matchup, so I like Tua Tagovailoa here versus the New York Jets.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So I'm awfully tempted to pick James Conner as my Millionaire Maker running back, but I'm going to make another pick here. I'm going to save a little bit of salary, although I think James Conner is a great play this week. But my Millionaire Maker running back is James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, playing the Houston Texans, who have the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. James Robinson has averaged 13.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 11.9 rush attempts per game and 3.3 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 17% owned, projected at 12.7 fantasy points here in Week 15. He's only $5,400 DraftKings salary and $900 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 39.5 points scored in this game, with the Jacksonville Jaguars favored by 3.5. So I love this matchup. James Robinson should be fully healthy. He should get his full workload and at least get his average touches, 15 to 20 touches this game. So I like James Robinson here versus the Houston Texans. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet. that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So if you want to stack on Jalen Waddle with your Tua Tagovailoa, I think that's a pretty good stack here, but I am going to pick a different wide receiver. I'm going to pick a run back player from that James Robinson pick. So I'm going to go with my Millionaire Maker wide receiver is Brandon Cooks from the Houston Texans playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the 10th worst defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing wide receivers. Brandon Cooks has averaged 14.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.4 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 87% of the snaps. He's going to be about 12% owned, projected at 13.7 fantasy points here in week 15. He's $5,800 DraftKings salary, $1,100 more on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 39.5 points scored in this game, with the Houston Texans trailing by 3.5. So great matchup here. And Brandon Cooks has scored 21, 8, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 11, 6, and 5 pass targets. So I like Brandon Cooks here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. So I am going to make a stack with Tua Tagovailoa here, and I'm going to do it at the tight end position. So my Millionaire Maker tight end is Mike Giuseki from the Miami Dolphins playing the New York Jets, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Mike Giuseki has averaged 10.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.9 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 73% of the snaps, going to be about 7% owned, projected at 11.7 fantasy points here in week 15. He's $5,000 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. So we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 42.5 points scored in this game, with the Dolphins favored by 8.5. So fantastic matchup, and Mike Giuseki has scored 12, 5, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 11, 3, and 6 pass targets. So I like that he got 11 pass targets last game. I think he's going to get 5 to 10 pass targets here in this game. So I like Mike Giuseki here versus the New York Jets.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. You've unlocked the bonus content.
Okay guys, here we are in the DraftKings lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here, and we've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Tua Tagovailoa, Rashad Penny, James Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Giuseki, Saquon Barkley, and the Washington football team. So I love this lineup. I think Rashad Penny is an interesting pick here this week. He's only $5,400 DraftKings salary, and he scored 29.8 fantasy points last week. They said they were going to give Rashad Penny the opportunity, and he sure did take advantage of it. So it leads me to believe that he's going to get that opportunity again here this week. and his salary is still low. So I think he's a good upside player. And at only 2% ownership, I think it makes sense plugging him into this Millionaire Maker lineup. And then you got Amari Cooper, who came back last week, scored 16.1 fantasy points. And then Saquon Barkley with 18.5 fantasy points. So all these guys are relatively low salary. We have a really balanced lineup here. We don't have any weak links. We're not relying on a $3,500 player to hit to make our lineup here. This is a super balanced lineup. A lot of great players in here. DeAndre Hopkins only 6,900. Tua Tagovailoa, who I think's got 20 plus fantasy point upside for only 5,700. James Robinson, who can score 15 to 20 fantasy points for 5,400. So this lineup is just a super balanced lineup. I think it's an awesome lineup. Plus you got the low ownership play of Rashad Penny in there. So I'm going to save this lineup so I can optimize it later if anything changes. Okay, now here we are in the FanDuel lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here, and we've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Tua Tagovailoa, James Conner, James Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, Mike Giuseki, Michael Gallup, and the Titans defense. So I think this is a pretty good lineup here. And let's see, we don't have any super low ownership plays. Looks like Tua Tagovailoa at 5%, Brandon Cooks at 6%, Mike Giuseki at 7%, Michael Gallup at 7% ownership, the Titans defense at 5% ownership. You could go with the LA Rams here. No, you wouldn't want to do that versus your player. You could go with the Denver Broncos versus the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'm going to just stick with this Titans defense versus that Pittsburgh Steelers offense that's been kind of struggling throughout the season. So I like this lineup here. So I'm going to save it so I can optimize it later if anything changes.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.